Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Hello, beautiful starseeds. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Gobind, and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you guys so much for being here live, and thank you to those of you that are watching the replay. I am so excited tonight to be here to do some mini readings for you guys. We have one person on the list so far, but other than that, the list is open. So if you want to get on the list to get either an astrology reading or a tarot/oracle reading this evening, you can get on the list by sending $25 to my PayPal, and everything is in the description of the video. That's the fastest way to get to that link. So let's actually talk about all the exciting things that are going on in this channel, in this community, before we hop into the reading. So I'll give you guys some time if you guys are wanting to get a reading to get on the list. And I want to let you guys know that I am currently enrolling. The registration is now open for the Channel for Grace Starseed membership, which is basically a yearly long thing that you can sign up for. Hello, Nelvin, welcome in. And Sandra, hello. And Ping, welcome in. But this membership is $22 a month, and it is going to be a sort of a guided journey through the astrological year. So the month begins when the sun moves into each of the signs. The first one that we are kind of embarking on and starting on is the winter solstice, which is the day that the sun moves into the sign of Capricorn. So it will be the beginning of Capricorn season, which is on December 21st this year, right around Christmas time, and the holiday season, obviously. But the coolest thing about this membership is that it'll be very varied. It's not like the same exact thing every month, because it depends on what kind of astrology transits are going on, what retrogrades are happening, what conjunctions are happening, what new and full moons are happening that month, whether they are eclipses or not. And on top of that, we are going to be celebrating the Celtic wheel. So the equinoxes and the solstices, and also the cross-quarter days. There will be Kundalini yogic technologies, Kundalini meditations as part of this membership, astral travel journeys, Stargate magic, new and full moon magic, journaling and meditations, Akashic healing chambers. And if I can give you guys a little bit of an idea of what these Akashic healing chambers are going to be like, I am literally getting ready for the entire thing to be broadcasted through my sound system. So I've been like out there buying, new mics and cords, and I even got one of these cute little like thumb harp things. I don't know how to describe it, but it is so cool, and you can plug it in. I've got singing bowls, of course, my beautiful, pink rose quartz singing bowl that I'm going to be using, and then the vocals, and it's just going to be amazing. These healing chambers are going to be so powerful, and they will be available as part of this membership. And also those will be available for personal individual sessions as well if you want to book one. Shamanic journeys is going to be something else that we're going to be doing, and also group energy readings, whether astrological or tarot, all of that will be included. So very excited for that. And I am still enrolling in the Moon Goddess training. This is a 8-week long program that is going to begin on January 29th. There's a really cool video that I would encourage you to watch. I actually filmed this video in Sedona the other day, and it was amazing to be there. Oh my God. And I'm planning on, if all goes well, doing a in-person retreat in Sedona sometime next year. So, but you'll have to have done the Moon Goddess training to be able to enroll and basically sign up for the retreat. But with this 8-week long program, it's going to be an initiation into the mystery schools of Hathor in ancient Egypt, ancient Atlantis, ancient Lemuria. We're going to be going through the temple initiations that they used to go through in those ancient civilizations. You're going to learn how to strengthen your intuition and what are your strongest intuitive gifts at the moment, because you can really grow all of them if you practice them and know how they work and how, your spirit guides communicate with you. Astrology and the gene keys is a big part of this training. I teach you, basically you get to learn to see in your chart what kind of moon, what kind of goddess energy you embody, what kind of goddess archetype you embody. Learn about the phases of the moon and what they mean and how to pay attention to them, and throughout your life also how the phases of the moon and the 13 moon centers that are part of a woman's body are all really part of our natural flow of life. Hello, Joan, welcome in. And how these amazing technologies and the understanding of these sort of centers and abilities that we naturally have, we just need to learn how to use them properly. And it's amazing how freeing life gets when you have the awareness of it. And I am here to bring that conscious awareness of these ancient hermetic practices to the awareness, the consciousness of the people. Ritual and ceremony, we'll be doing a 40-day meditation practice, and I've already picked the meditations. They are going to help balance the chakras and also literally like open your mind, let go of habits, old stories, and patterns that are no longer working, and lift you up to a higher frequency. And one of the meditations that we're going to be doing is actually a meditation that has been studied, like clinically studied, to help patients who have Alzheimer's and also to prevent Alzheimer's. Hello, Rebecca. Welcome in. I mean, this stuff is is amazing, the Kundalini practice, but it is actually, it activates your brain. Like it makes you be able to use more of your brain. Like that's literally what this meditation is about. And this is the one that came to me that is the one that we need to do. So very excited for that. We are going to be going into the Akashic records and exploring that space, the space of our souls, the temple initiations, like I mentioned, hermetic alchemy and Kundalini yogic technology. That program begins on January 29th. And right now we have a discounted price of $275, or you can do 2 payments of $140. And the price will go up on December 1st. And this is something that I do want to mention. I'm going to switch back to me over here. But something that I want to mention about this specific Moon Goddess training, while I put on my earrings because I just want to wear them now, is that everything that I've been doing right now this month, and especially like these last couple of months have been really intensely activating for me. I have been expanding at a rate that is almost overwhelming. And the reason I say that is because, like, especially these last 2 weeks with this, where we're in between eclipses, I was like, it was so intense. I was dealing with my own stuff, then, dealing with personal issues in my life, things coming up, so much growth and so much expansion, and then so much work. I've been working so hard to get everything prepared and ready for all the powerful visions that I'm getting. I'm receiving so many downloads. I'm on top of everything doing an entire training, like a 3-month-long training to learn how to read the Akashic records. And it's just like, whoa, so much. And so the thing that is going to change next year for a lot of these programs is I am going to be raising the prices. Now, I have this training right now for $333 is the total price, which is like a complete giveaway. Like, I promise you what you get is like way beyond that value. And so the next time that the Moon Goddess training runs, it will be 1111. And that's like a very specific number that I've received. That is what the price of that program needs to be. So if you want to get in on this, this is the time to do it in January, because like I said, the next time around is going to be 1111 the price. So you're getting it for a freaking steal, and I'm so excited about that. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. There's a lot of other cool things. I'm doing a sale on Etsy. I have beautiful new headpieces that are out. And today I received more stuff to make the silver version of it. So the silver serpent. So right now I'm making them all gold and gold filled, but I also want to offer silver for those of you that like that silver kind of color and frequency. So I'm going to be making some of those as well, but go check out my Etsy shop, sign up for the membership. If you're considering the Moon Goddess training and you have questions, I would love to talk and have a conversation about it. And yes, and thank you for your support, and thank you for always being here. And make sure that you get my free moon astrology guide, especially if you're new. That guide will tell you what your psychic gifts are based off of your moon sign, and then it enters you into my email list. And that's the best way to stay in contact. And also social media accounts, Channel for Grace, and on Instagram and MeWe, and then also at Moon Goddess Training on Instagram as well. There's a specific account for the Moon Goddess Training. So I'm going to get my little list out here so that we can start these readings. But how are you guys doing? How is everyone doing after that intense eclipse that we just had? Hello, Wendy. Welcome in. So good to see you here. So I'm going to write down some names, and I'm going to check how many people are actually here on the list already. And if you're in the chat and you did get on the list, just let me know that you are here. So we've got two Rebecca signed up. That's awesome. So we got Rebecca S is first. Are you here in the chat, Rebecca? And then the other Rebecca W. So let me write this down. Okay, Rebecca S. And then Rebecca. All right, so Rebecca S is first, and then we got Rebecca Y, and that's everyone that's on the list. So the list is wide open. Thank you so much, Wendy, for posting that up there. So super easy to get on the list for tonight, and I really want to know how you guys are doing. I really want to know how you guys are doing for this after this intense eclipse. I am so glad that we did the ceremony last night, because today, oh my God, I felt like I was run over by a train. Like, I'm not kidding when I'm saying things have been so intense for me in my personal life. And then on top of it, having to kind of, show up for everything that I do. It's like, walk the talk, like you preach all these things, but do you walk them? And this week has been really intensely, have been testing me, but in ways that are just they're asking me to step up. I'm being asked to step up in life in general. So it's just a lot. And then the eclipse came, and then my moon time came, and today I was like, I couldn't even like wake up. I couldn't even get out of bed. It was hard. I had to, of course, because I got a dog and I got to take care of her and stuff. But I had that, and then I like got up, took care of her, like ate breakfast, and then literally went back to bed. And I don't know how long I was asleep, but I was having one of those dreams where like you are so dead in your sleep that you're like, I needed to like use the restroom. And in my dream, I was like trying to go to the bathroom. It's like one of those dreams where you're like out of it. Like if I didn't wake up, I was going to pee the bed, Oh my God. TMI, I know, but I just want to tell you, like, that's the kind of like energy that it was for me today. But I'm so glad that I allowed myself to like go, just go back to sleep because I needed it. And when I woke up, I feel, oh my God, so much better. So yeah, go ahead and put up your question, Rebecca. We are waiting for your question. So yeah, woke up and I feel so much better, and I'm so glad I did because now I'm ready for these readings and I can be fully present for these readings. And the last few weeks, because of the intense energies, this specific broadcast has been like seriously like on point. The readings have been so strong, and we have obviously some beautiful crystal energy with us tonight. I have been working with these. This is cracked quartz. They are just amazing pieces of clear quartz, and they've been helping so much. And then we have our rose quartz ball or sphere that I have been using as well. And this is really powerful because rose quartz for me has been playing a really big part in my Akashic record training. I think I mentioned this before, but every time I go to the Akashic records, for me, it takes me to a temple. Yeah, thank you, Jenny. It takes me to a temple in the Orion constellation, close to the star Mintaka, and it is a water-like planet. And I go into the water, and underwater there's a crystal castle, and within the castle is this really huge clear quartz stone slab, which is like, it's a bed. It's like a healing bed. And every time I go there, I have the opportunity or the choice to like lay on the bed. And there's been many times where we've gone into the Akashic and done these journeys in my training, and I'm laying in that rose quartz bed, and I've got my spirit guides and goddesses are surrounding me and literally doing like energy work on me and like clearing and healing, and it's rose quartz. So when I saw this baby, I was like, this feels like that bed in my Akashic temple. So that's why that's here to help me channel these readings. Wendy says, feeling really drained and had a hard time sleeping, but I have been feeling humble and calm energy. Transformations are good. Yes, I have been feeling those energies as well. So Rebecca S., we're still waiting for your question, love. If not, then we can go to All Natural Rebecca. Joan says, energy is crazy. Personal life has been challenging, but had energy healings and had to focus on them. I came home and fell asleep. Yeah. So it's heavy. Like it's heavy. That's what I've been, noticing for myself is it just things are really, really heavy. And there's a lot of it's like deep processing. One of the things that has been coming up for me is that, okay, awesome. Thank you, Rebecca. We'll do this in 1 second. So one of the things that has been coming up for me is that I feel like I just want to have fun again in life. I want to basically let go of the drama, a lot of like drama in my life. And this has to do, with personal relationships and things, but I just want to have fun again. And I just want to kind of like start over. And I think it's the feeling of the shift that's going to happen with the nodes. I'm like feeling the shift, because Taurus is really very much about feeling good and doing things that make you feel good. And I'm already wanting to like live my life in that way and have much more stability in my life, because it's been like a circus show, right, for the last 18 months. So I think we're ready for more stability and to just like let go of the drama and move away from it and just like enjoy being here in this beautiful earth. All right, so she wants an astrology reading to see what is coming up for me. All right, so let's do let's just see what comes up when I look at it, and then I'll just kind of decide which one is going to be in the last 36 years the best energy. Let's switch this over. Yeah, I got some plants today. Like so I had a crystal reading with my teacher, and she was like, you need plants. First of all, you need to rearrange your office, and I've been doing that. It's like a work in progress, because like I'm telling you, there's like so much going on. But I've rearranged it to a point where it feels good and it feels like much more clear, and I can walk around the space more easily. But she said you need plants and you need quartz around the plants, and it just needs to come alive. And then I'm getting these cool little mantra boxes, they're called. And the mantra boxes are basically to play mantras 24/7. And when you do that, it's almost like having crystals in the room. But the mantras, the sound current, because it's sound current, and vibrations are really significant. You infuse the entire space with the mantra that plays in this little mantra box like 24/7. And my teacher says that when I've known about this technology for a long time, but it has all really come back into my life because of my Akashic record training. And it's really exciting because I get to really work with creating the kind of space that I want. So if you want the energy of the room to be about prosperity, which is what kind of a mantra I would like to play in my office, then you can do that. Like in my room, I'm going to play this beautiful version of the Aung San Waheguru 24/7. So when we sleep, it's like vibrating with the energy of the universe. And in my living room, I'm going to play the Waheguru mantra 24/7, which is like, Waheguru is like joy to the world, basically saying that joy to life, joy to the world. So I'm really excited about all the things that have been, shifting and activating. And today I went to get some plants. And I am so happy. I'm so happy. Like things are moving forward for sure. So we got January 22nd, 77, 4 p.m., Smith Falls. Okay, let me add the transits here for today. And we'll take a look at this. And I'm not good at keeping plants alive, but I'm making a commitment to like... It's just a story. It's not true. Like, I know it's not true. I know I can keep plants alive, but I have a story. There's a story that goes on in my head, and it has to do with, you get them on Amazon. I can show them. If you send me a message, I can show you, like send you the link of the one I got. But, basically, it's a story, right? Cause my grandma used to grow plants, and, my mom's really good at my grandma had a green thumb, my mom has a green thumb, and my sister basically has a green thumb, and I have like a black thumb. That's my script, right? But I'm trying to rewrite that script because the truth is that the resistance is like that the plants really represent this sort of intense connection to my matriarchal lineage, and I've had a lot of trauma through the matriarchal lineage for me. But I want to change that story. And that's one of the things that actually I've been, learning to do through the Akashic Records training, and that I'm going to be able to do, readings about, how do we rewrite your story? How do we rewrite your contracts that you have with people? Sync to them. Yeah. But that's why I have the mantra boxes. That's why I'm so excited, because I've never actually done the mantra boxes with the plants. Yes, they do. And so, then the mantras and the crystals around them are going to help keep the plants alive. So I'm just like so excited, you guys. So much growth. Like, it's a big commitment for me personally. For some people, it's like, okay, whatever, plants. But for me, it's like a big deal. Like, I don't want to kill these plants, like I want to do them right. Okay. So sorry, Rebecca, now we're taking forever. That's hilarious. So what is coming up for me? Well, your birthday. Oh, that's so funny. And let me just take a quick look at something else before we do that. Okay. So you are waning moon. So you're in a period of your life where it's more of like you're kind of relaxing. It's not there's not too much like, except orchids. Okay. I was just given about 8 plants. They bring joy. Yes, I was really happy when I got these. You can, Jai. I did. I've been adding yes, I know. And I know this is just the beginning. I'm really excited about it. I want to have plants everywhere now. So, okay. So let's actually take a look at this. I'm just going to take an image of it, and we're going to go over here so I can actually kind of write on it. And of course, like the first thing that I notice is, when your birthday, so January 22nd is your birthday, there's kind of a lot that is going on in January that is very significant. For one, there's the conjunction of Venus and the Sun. There is the nodes are switching signs. So those are kind of, that's going to give us a lot of information. Venus being the planet of relationships, she's going to conjunct the Sun at 18 degrees of Capricorn. And 18 degrees of Capricorn for you is actually found within your 6th house. And the 6th house is the house of being present. It's the house of being in the moment, channeling, but also like, how you've been watching the videos for the astrology for this Sagittarius eclipse. I have been talking about like nonstop about reaching the speed of being, and how that's what we're trying to do. And this is what the 6th house to me feels like, reaching the speed of being, like being present and being here, and just present with everything that shows up, present with everything that comes up. Now, because you have Mars, oops, I didn't mean to erase that, but you've got Mars right there at 16 degrees of Capricorn. That means that conjunction with Venus and the Sun that's going to happen at 18 degrees is going to be conjunct your Mars. And with Mars in Capricorn, there's a lot of, you don't really like your time being wasted. That's really important for you. So you make yourself, you organize yourself in a way in your daily life that helps you feel like you're being, that you're progressing, that you're moving forward, that you are basically, what's the word? Oh, it's at the tip of my tongue. It doesn't matter. Anyways, it's there's a responsibility there, and it's very important to you. So whatever this theme is that's going to show up for you in the present is about your relationship with Venus and the Sun conjuncting there. Your relationship basically with you and your daily life. Like, it's going to shine a light in this area of your life. And it's going to ask you to take more responsibility and take ownership of daily life, daily schedule, everything that you do on a daily basis. So it's very like physical. It's very in the moment. And that's happening in January. I think the exact conjunction is January 8th. And then on January 18th, the nodes are switching. And so for you, this nodal shift is going to start with the north node in the 11th and the south node in the 5th, which is the 5th is passion and creativity. So it's like using the gift of passion and creativity, but not really focusing on any kind of drama, because Scorpio can be drama. Scorpio is the shadow, like letting go of the drama, letting go of the shadow, and focusing on actually sharing your gifts with the world and finding and looking for the things that make you feel secure and the things that make you feel safe when you share yourself with the world. And very soon, I mean, not very, very soon, but close to when the north node conjuncts your Jupiter, you're going to feel that theme really expand. And that's going to be a little bit further into January of 2022, but still, you're going to feel that activation of your Jupiter. So I think it's good luck. I think it's financial abundance, because Jupiter in Taurus can be financial abundance, money, and things like that. And it'll come by way of like friendships, relationships that you have with others. But really, the more you focus on sharing yourself with the world, the more you're going to enjoy next year. And then when towards the end of that transit, when the North Node enters the 10th house, it's about focusing on career and life path, and not so much on family. Although you might experience some family kind of drama and shadows coming up, what's going to happen is you're going to have to let go of those things so that you can step into more purpose. Hey, hello, Shannon. Welcome in. So that's what's coming up for you. Thank you for getting a reading this evening. I really appreciate that. So next we have the other Rebecca. And then I don't think there's anyone else on the list. So the list is open, you guys, for anyone that wants to get on it for the evening. How's it going, Shannon? What are Isaac and I here to learn from one another? Do you want a tarot reading? Yeah, probably, right? Okay. Let's do this. So we'll do the usual. I'll say a little prayer to clear the cards first, but we'll do the usual spread that I like to use, which is the 5-card pull of intuition, challenge, overall theme, wisdom from the ancestors, and animal spirit. All right. Thank you, spirit guides, angels, and teachers, for being here with us this evening. I would like to ask that you clear the energy of the cards that we are going to be using, and that you clear my energy as well, so we can be that open channel of wisdom and grace, intuition, and these beautiful messages to flow through to everyone that gets a reading this evening. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, here we go. Yeah, did you see that Wendy's here too, Shannon? It's really exciting. All right, so what is our Isaac and Rebecca here to learn from one another? Awesome, Shannon. I would love that. Okay, what are they here to learn? What does Rebecca need to know about this relationship? What are they here to learn? Okay, here we go. We missed you last night, Shannon. I was wondering where you were. What is the challenge of this situation? Okay. What is the overall theme? And the wisdom from the ancestors? All right. And what animal spirit is going to guide her in this situation? Interesting cards, I will say. All right. So you did get a lot of reversed cards. You got 3 reversed cards, 1 upright. So I just think that's kind of significant. First of all, the first card that you get is actually the 6 of Cups. And the 6 of Cups can be a card of like, I feel like when I see the 6 of Cups energy, it almost feels like it's either something that comes from the past, so past lives, or something that comes from childhood, like the healing or what comes up is something from childhood that has to be healed, relationships that feel like they are like you guys have known each other before. So this is obviously one of those relationships. So what you guys are here to like learn from each other based off of the message from this card is to like have an experience with each other, to understand each other. You're also here to learn how to forgive from the relationship. The challenge is there sometimes I think it feels, or maybe currently it feels like there's 2 roads. There's 2 ways that you can kind of take the relationship, and it's a hard decision to make. So you feel like you don't know which way to go. You feel like maybe there's not enough information, because obviously in the 2 of Swords she is she's blindfolded. And so you have to make the decision maybe without having all of the information that you would like to have about this relationship. However, it's important that the choice is made because otherwise the stagnation begins to set in. So the next card is the 2 of Pentacles, which is it's reversed. The 2 of Pentacles can feel like there's a lot going on, but you can find a way to get, balanced. But the overall theme when this card is reversed is that you may be feeling kind of overwhelmed with the whole thing, unbalanced, or it may feel a little bit chaotic. Like you're juggling, but sometimes like you feel like the balls that you're juggling are going to fall onto the ground. And it feels like it's not under control. That's what it feels like. It feels like it may not be under control because you guys are here to teach each other how to forgive. And it may not be forgiveness of each other, but forgiveness kind of in general. That obviously it's hard to kind of maneuver that kind of deep sort of healing energy. And you also get the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, which can feel like there's not a reliable energy. Or this person may feel like to you, like maybe they're not exactly reliable. Maybe they feel like sometimes they seem lazy in a way, or they seem like they're not interested or bored, or things like that. And that's challenging and that could feel like maybe all the weight is on you for some reason. But it's a balancing act. And it's both energies have to be kind of in collaboration with each other to make this work. But I feel the feeling that I get energetically, what this feels like to me is may not be karmic in the sense of like there's karma that you guys need to resolve, but it does feel like it is very it's healing. It's a very healing connection that will teach you a lot, and it doesn't feel like it's going to be like simple. It feels like it may be a little bit challenging as you guys move through whatever it is that comes up within this relationship. And the animal that you got, which is so interesting, is the hyena. And the hyena is about humor, it's about wit, and it's about sarcasm. So I think the hyena is telling you to not take it too seriously, or not feel like it's so heavy, and learn to have fun through the process, because the hyena is a jokester and also a crowd pleaser. But below the surface, there can be unfulfilled dreams that need to be realized. So when this card appears, it's time to reflect on your reliance on sarcasm and humor to express your truth. Are you using jokes to hide old resentments in relationships, or to mask things that you feel uncomfortable discussing? And maybe not necessarily jokes, but other things that you may be using to try to kind of hide the uncomfortableness of the situation. And if you give yourself the opportunity to just kind of dive into whatever this is presenting for you and see if you can find that balance, you may be surprised at what you find on the other side of that. Because this is not, it's an interesting connection, but I think it's gonna be very healing as well. And the card that you get from the Ounce project is that what you need more of right now is an ounce of presence. So what's going to help you is just stay present with whatever shows up. No expectations. Yeah, let go of all expectations that you feel need to happen. Things that have to be a certain way, or you need this to be this way or that way, and just flow with it. Just flow with it and do your best to find the balance. But there is a choice that needs to be made, and you don't want to stagnate the energy. So you just move forward with whatever decision the universe needs you to make right now. So there you go. Thank you for getting a reading. And next we have Shannon. And then the list is open after Shannon for anyone that wants to get on the list. Yeah, and as I was saying earlier, as we wait for Shannon's question, is I actually have been feeling today, the day started really weird. I've been feeling kind of frustration for the last 2 weeks since the last eclipse. However, what I'm also noticing is that today I allowed myself to just go back to sleep, literally go back to sleep. And which sounds funny, but like I just needed to check out. Like I was done. Like I've been so, overwhelmed with everything going on, so overwhelmed that it's so important that self-care for me today was just go back to bed. And I did. And oh my God, I'm so glad I did, because I got the sleep that I actually needed. And so of course now I feel 100 times better. I'm I think I'm going to make it. Am I going to make it? I'm going to make it. That's literally how it friggin' feels. So let's pull up your chart. What do I need to know about this situation? Okay. So when you say, let me think about this. Because if I could do a synastry reading, where I put the two charts together. I'm trying to figure out what exactly do you need to know? Or do you just want me to do a synastry reading? Because one thing is the synastry reading, so the energies of each other. And then the other one is beyond that, which is looking at, transits and stuff. But let me just start putting your chart on here. Misawa. And And then the other is 321.79. Okay, so just like a synastry reading. All right. So let me just make sure I got this correct. 8775. Yes, we got yours right. And then 321.79 2 a.m. Okay, let's take a look. Is this the first time we're looking at this? I can't remember. There's just, don't ask me to remember, you guys. Like, I literally have been so overwhelmed with so much going on. Out of control. It's out of control. People are out of control, you guys. By the way, people are out of control. Like, there's people out there that have zero ability to control their actions and what they say and what they do, and they have no idea how it affects other people. That's what I've been experiencing. It's like this weird, like, it's like a psychosis that's going around that's getting worse in people. And you're like, do you not see how you're coming off? Like, do you not see how you're affecting? And it's almost like, no, because the only thing that it's like, they need you to feed them, right? Like, feed me, Seymour, feed me now. And he needs like blood, you know? It's like that, dude. Like, I've just been dealing with like a lot of narcissistic energy out there, and it's like, holy moly, it's you can't, there's no fixing it. It's like derailed trains. That's literally what I've been experiencing. Crazy. All right, here we go. So you've got, of course, you were born Leo Sun and Leo Moon. And we are dealing with Aries Sun and Sagittarius Moon. Yes, people are why I went hermit mode. Dude, I gotta tell you and Shannon in the chat like what I've been dealing with this week, because you're gonna be like, what on earth? So that is basically, those three energies are, trining each other. So what I would say, in terms of like synastry, this is a positive thing. A grand trine is like it can bring in harmony just because there's what we would call compatibility, right? Like fire. All the fire understands, each other. And when you have, sun trine sun, sun trine moon, moon trine moon, moon trine sun. I mean, this is beautiful. I mean, there's a beautiful kind of alchemy that becomes awakened between you two when this, arrives. And I think that's part of like the initial sort of like drawing in towards each other kind of energy. So that's the first thing. So that's a positive thing. The next thing I look at would be, let's look at Venus. So what you desire in relationship. So we know you have Venus in Virgo. So you tend to be more on the picky side of things, very particular. Not always, but there are certain things that it's almost like there's less tolerance for within relationships. And then he's got that Venus in Aquarius. So he's much more kind of open-minded about things. So I think he would be a lot more willing to sort of please you and things like that. Please, like meet your needs or meet your desires. But you are, you also tend to be kind of like perfectionistic in terms of relationships. So if it's not perfect, you're like, I don't know if this can really be something that's going to last forever. Or I don't know if I can really commit because it's not like the perfect thing. And that can be like, a shadow of the Virgo energy where like they need so much perfection. They just end up being kind of overcritical of everything. And like Virgo energy tends to be like stressed or anxious. and because things aren't perfect. And so that's kind of like a low frequency kind of shadow that moves through that Virgo energy. But the truth is that when you realize that perfection is things are perfect just the way they are, then that relaxes that energy. With the Venus in Aquarius, it's interesting because Aquarius is not really the kind of sign that loves commitment. So for Virgo, Venus in Virgo, it has to be perfect. For Venus in Aquarius, the commitment part is not necessarily like the most important thing. So they would love more playfulness. They will love more friendships are really, really important for Venus and Virgo. Yes, if it's not perfect, then it's frustrating. But Venus and Aquarius can tend to be like, have more friend relationships than more like kind of committed relationships, because they just don't really desire like the commitment. Really, it's not like they're not really the type to get attached, because Aquarius energy is aloof and it's unattached. They float out into outer space, right? They're like the aliens. They're like the ones with the antennas. They just like go off like in their mind, and they're not really like super present. But that's not their gift, right? Their gift is to like just be open and free, So that's interesting there. That to me feels like, well, that's kind of different. That's very different. So it can be a cause for friction, right? In the relationship. When what you guys desire is very, very different from the other person. Plus you have air, earth, and he has air. And those two elements are hard to combine together. Then Mars in Taurus for you. You're slow moving, not in a negative way. You're steady. The way that you approach life is a steady, like even keel. You're moving forward, but you're not moving forward like, say, a Gemini or a Capricorn. Capricorn, what I mean would be like totally moving, like they're always moving upwards, like towards the top of the mountain. Now, Taurus has a more stable way of doing things, but sometimes it can be like, it takes so much time to like get things done. There's just like a stubbornness too that comes with that energy of Taurus. So the way that you go and get what you want is a lot of times you take your time with it, and that's just a part of who you are. And then for him, his Mars, where is his Mars? His Mars is in Pisces. So that's a very different energy. Very different energy. Though, he was very kind of ethereal. The way that he goes about getting what he wants in life is he like dreams it up. He like goes into his dream space. He gets creative and allows his intuition to flow through. He expresses, this sort of more spiritual side of life, and he's it's another kind of aloof energy, emotional, right? Like he listens to how he feels. He's not afraid to dive into the unknown. He's not afraid to dive into the unknown. And so that's kind of a fun energy. However, what Pisces can do is get lost in the abyss. So he may feel like sometimes he doesn't have any direction because he's like floating in outer space or floating in the ocean. You're like, whoa. Or he goes really deep, and emotionally it comes out. But, his dream space and his intuition, his creativity are a big part of how he approaches life and how he goes and gets the things that he wants. I think that's actually really beautiful. Now, the synastry here in this specific dynamic is that Taurus and Pisces are both signs that are, Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is exalted. So these are energies where Venus feels good. So that I would say is synastry. There's synastry there. there is a beautiful connection there when you connect those links to the planet Venus, which is love and beauty. In terms of communication, your Mercury in Leo and his Mercury in Aries, although they are trining because they're both fire energy, his mode of thinking is very impulsive. Like, he's very impulsive. Plus, already having Sun in Aries, he's impulsive in general. But his thinking is like he'll say things before he doesn't think things through very well. Because that Aries energy just like it comes out first and then it thinks later, And then with that fire can cause the friction of the it can be exciting conversations. It can be like really exciting and fiery conversations, but then it can go overboard, like too much fire like burns out. And there's maybe conflict or friction that arises from like fire, like where's the water to calm it down if it ever needs to be like calmed down. That's the energy. But Mercury in Leo is very expressive, needs to feel valued. And so when you speak and when you share your ideas, it's almost like you have to, the way that you view the world through your mind has to do with like how you fit in it in terms of like, is this fun? Does this feel good for me? Is this, am I being valued in this situation? And it's like go big or go home with Leo energy. You just say the things you want to say. And then also that's why it can be friction or like arguments can show up, because it's like one energy is very impulsive and doesn't think before they talk. And the other one is very expressive and needs to know what the other ones are thinking about it. And so it's a very interesting dynamic. Like fire is a synastry point, like a positive harmonious thing. With Mercury, it can really, it's kind of wild and unpredictable. In a way, that's what I would say about it. And let's see, your Libra rising. He is Sagittarius rising, and he's got his moon on his rising. His moon is actually, it's conjunct his rising. So the moon actually, because it's earlier minute, his moon is at 27 minutes. And his rising is at 41 minutes of 29 degrees of Sagittarius. His moon is technically in his 12th house. So the thing that fluctuates for him the most is his perspective on life. And the thing that fluctuates the most is his feelings on like pondering life and his feelings on his relationship to God. But the same degree, that means the moon on his rising, that means it's also energetically connected to his first house, which means he himself, his identity is what is constantly fluctuating. So he's always changing, like his identity. Like maybe he'll like do his hair different, or like he'll wear something different, or like those things. That's what's always changing. That's why it can be hard to pin down. And then with Libra rising, so he's ruled by Jupiter, you're ruled by Venus. You're much more like you're much more, I guess you could say, stable in the sense of like, this is how you always like to feel and look. But for him, because the moon is there, that's always changing. It's interesting for a guy. Like, I'm not exactly sure how that would manifest. For a girl, it's like easy because like we're kind of socially allowed to like change our looks a lot. For guys, they're much more, they're much more like stable in that way. But I don't know. It's curious to find out how that sort of flows for him. With the nodes, so you've got North Node, Scorpio, which means you're here to learn to take more risks in life. And then he's got North Node Virgo. So that North Node for him is a connection to your Venus, which means that the relationship itself, and he feels drawn to that energy because he's supposed to learn to be more present. Hello there, welcome. And when he learns to be more present, which he learns through your desire for the relationship, that makes him feel like he's moving in the direction of his destiny. For you, you are supposed to learn to take more risks in life. And I mean, honestly, there's no other sign that takes more risks than freaking Aries, because they just go for the things that they want. So in a way, and the reason why there's a connection there is because the North Node is ruled in Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and Mars also rules Aries. That's why it's like you'll have a good relationship with Aries energy, and he'll show you how to take more risks, because he just goes for things. He doesn't really like hold back, you know. But yeah, those are the energies that come kind of through for me. Let me see if there's anything else. That's pretty much it. One last thing, your Chiron in Aries is about learning to find yourself and your identity, and his Chiron in Taurus is learning to let go of insecurities about security and stability in his life and values. Like his own self-esteem is a big thing for him. For you, it's more of like, who am I and why am I here? So those two kind of healing themes for both of you are very important to recognize in each other, because it'll show up in the relationship very powerfully. And that's what I got for you. Yeah, it is really interesting. It's really interesting. I like it. Like overall, if I was going to kind of give the synopsis of this, it's sort of very lively. It's lively, but it's not something that like is without its like triggering points, right? There's like certain triggering points within this. And so those are the things that become the those are the things that become the points of learning within the relationship. So there you go. Yes, and the list is open. Thank you so much, Wendy, for posting that up there. I really appreciate it. It's $25 to get on the list. And if you get on the list, then you'll be the next one on, because we don't currently have anyone on the list. But for those of you guys that are here right now and watching and hanging out, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. That was fun for a fun situation. Yes. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Oh my God. I'm so excited about the membership, you guys. So I was telling you earlier, in the beginning of this video, I was talking about how I'm getting set up for the Akashic Healing Chambers, which I'm really excited to start offering in January, as well as the Akashic Records readings. I'm going to start offering those in January. And what I've been doing is, so I have an interface, a Bose interface that I used to use for my live events when I used to go play music places. And I've been basically setting everything up where I have my healing, my singing bowls set up with a mic on them. I've got the guitar plugged in. I've got a vocal mic plugged in with beautiful effects, vocal effects. I've got the gong mic'd up. I've got all of my healing instruments. So my altar, my crystals, my the feathers that I use for energy clearing and energy healing. Basically, it's like a medicine woman kind of session, and such a powerful way to share so much. A combination of everything all in one place. I've got other instruments that I just got as well that are going to be plugged in, and you will have the most amazing session that'll be the Akashic Healing Chamber. So the chamber itself is about accessing the Akashic Records, and from the Akashic Records, letting them guide me as to what the group needs. If it's a session done for the Starseed membership, which the registration is now open and it's just $22 a month. We start on December 25th with the content. But it's either, you know, for the group, if it's for the membership, or if it's an individual session, it's for like very focused on you and what you need in terms of healing. So I absolutely can't wait for that aspect of my life to like start kind of being more present. And I've been really working hard on getting it ready. So I can't wait for you guys to see it. I'm thinking that between now, in the next few days, it'll be ready, and I'm going to be doing some sound testing and things like that. But in the near future, I'm going to do like a live session for you guys on YouTube so that you guys can see what I mean, because you got to just have the experience for sure. Ooh, and I've been wearing my feather earrings today too. These are the best. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting to tell you guys that I'm putting new products on my Etsy shop. There's so much, I just like keep forgetting. There's new products on there. I have some feather earrings on there. I also have some tridacna and black onyx bracelets. They're like yin yang, like balancing energies. They're these cute little elastic bracelets. I love them. They're beautiful beads and like stone beads that I've used. And tridacna is a stone that is used a lot by the Buddhist in Buddhist malas because of the calming and also the spiritual effect. And there's descriptions of all of that, you know, all of the products. But I'm going to be creating some more of the headpieces. And Jennifer, go ahead and put up your question. I'm going to be creating some more headpieces and some more bracelets, which I'm also really, really excited about. Awesome. Congratulations. Hello, Morning Star. All right, we got you on the list, Jennifer. Yeah, go ahead and put up your question. I've been waiting for this from you for so long. Since the Magic Playground, I've been asking for the gong. Well, here it comes. Here it comes. It's been, you know, it like came in time. It was time, you know, for this to happen. So that's why I'm really excited about it, because it was like, it's time for this to like finally bring itself into a structure that I can share it through. And that's the membership, but also like the individual readings that I'm going to be doing for people regarding, you know, the Akashic Records readings. And it feels like the perfect timing. So yeah, I know I am super excited about it. All right, here we go. Curious about my chart. My hands are sweating. Okay, question. Have you ever gotten a astrology reading before? That's the first thing I would like to know while I pull up your chart. Okay. And it's going to be your birthday soon too. And what's the state again? Is it in Oklahoma? Ooh, how exciting. So do you want me to just kind of look at the basic birth chart and see what I see? I know, this is really fun. Yeah, then let's do it like a basic birth chart. And I'll tell you exactly what planet you're ruled by. This is going to be fun, you guys. All right, here we go. So January 15th, 1985, 12:46 a.m., Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. All correct? But also don't be nervous. This is just super fun. Okay. Here we go. You're struggling with what to do? What do you mean? The reason I ask that is because if I do, you mean for like your life path? We can, ooh, this is, okay, now we're going to do this right here. We're going to stop right here. Okay, so here we go. You're 1985. So I'm 1 year older than you. And here's something that I know about Capricorn Sun. Capricorn Sun takes a while in life to figure out what they're going to do. But once they figure it out, it's like they're unstoppable. You were born during a very powerful time, a transit called a Sun Jupiter. So this actually brings good luck into your life. This is a beautiful thing. You are almost like a good luck charm where with other people. Now with the sun in the third house, it's almost like having the sun in Gemini. So you're very talkative. You're very curious. You are very interested in things that help you communicate things like reading, writing. It's almost like there's a teacher aspect to that. But Sun in Capricorn is definitely, there's a focus. So all you got to do is find that. And once you like find what that is, then it'll be easy for you to just get yourself onto this track that is wanting to show up for you. So that's just the sun. Now you have a moon in Scorpio. So and it's in the first house. So what this means is that the things that fluctuate the most in your life is your identity. So you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what. It's because your identity is always changing. You're always finding new things about yourself. Struggled a lot with anxiety and depression from childhood trauma. Yes. And you also have Pluto in the first house, but your power comes from this space. Your power comes from your identity. Your power comes from yourself, and you need to learn that. And it's going to be a difficult journey, a challenging thing, because Scorpio is about, moving through the shadows. And Moon in Scorpio can be very intense. Emotionally, it can also be very, it can be addicted to drama. So if you experience trauma early on, what happens is you get used to it. And because Scorpio tends to crave intensity, obviously you tend to get stuck there. You also have South Node Scorpio, and it's conjunct Saturn. So that means that if there's issues with the father figures or your actual father in your life, there's a lot of karma related to your father, and you're figuring that out. Like you guys are here because you're learning to figure it out. Okay, I just needed to moderate that. That was really distracting. So that's basically what is going on for you. Is I'm pretty sure that thanks, Wendy. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that the trauma is related to that relationship, and it's karmic. And you guys both chose to be in each other's lives because of there's a reason. What I would recommend, if for your own understanding and your own peace of mind, is to do a past life regression to understand that, or an Akashic record reading to understand that, and why that's there, and if it's possible to rewrite that story, to rewrite that contract, if is that contract over or not. But that's a very intense part. It's like that's why you get stuck in trauma, because South Node Scorpio is about drama, and it is about your past and past lives. So in a past life, things were very intense and things were very dramatic. In this life, you've got that kind of intensity and trauma linked to your father. So that's a big deal. Now, when we look at the other side, if we go right up to the North Node, Your North Node is in Taurus. So I just mentioned that that the nodes are going to be switching into North Node Taurus, South Node Scorpio this year on January 18th, which means that next year you're having what we call a nodal return. So next year, believe it or not, it's going to be a great time for you to focus on your destiny. Now, what are you here to do in this life? You've got North Node in Taurus and North Node in the 8th house. North Node in Taurus is about you're here to find more stability in your life. You're here to learn to let go of the trauma. You're here to find your value, to understand what your value is. And there's something very interesting in your chart is that you have the nodes in their opposite houses, in the opposite signs. So Taurus rules the 2nd house, but he's in the 8th house. So you're here to learn to find more stability by taking more risks, by learning to take more risks in life. And you're here to let go of that stagnation energy by letting go of the past and letting go of the drama and letting go of the trauma. That's a big part of what you are here to learn. You've got Venus in Pisces, Mars in Pisces, and they're, very close. They're basically conjunct. So what you desire in life is spiritual connection with others. It's very important for you in relationships, that spiritual connection. Very important. You're like a hopeless romantic sometimes. That's what Venus in Pisces, but she's exalted. She loves this. The fairy tale stories really draw you in. Like those Disney stories are like, oh my God, I want my fairy tale story. And Mars in Pisces, how you go about it is like you get spiritual, like you dive in. You want, what drives you is your creativity. What drives you is your intuition. So you need to trust your intuition. You need to trust that. Plus, something really exciting is that Jupiter is going to be transiting through Pisces next year. And these energies are going to get activated for you. So your creativity, your sense of spirituality, your desire to understand your own divinity and to have an experience of God in your body is going to be heightened for everyone, but for you especially because you've got these powerful energies here. You're a Libra rising, so you are ruled by the planet Venus. So that's really beautiful because, like I just said, Venus is in Pisces in your chart, which is exalted. So, and conjunct Mars. This is a good energy. It's like a very sweet and loving energy. Your midheaven is Cancer though, and that's really interesting. So something about your life path and your career has to do with home and family. So you either have to work from home or nurturing others. This is the moon goddess. If you are interested in doing my moon goddess training, I would highly recommend it because you've got Cancer, which rules the moon, the sign of the moon, in your 10th house of life, path, and career. So you better understand what being a moon goddess is about, because it's part of your life path. It's part of how you're supposed to show up for the world. You're supposed to nurture others. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't work and you just focus on home and family. It means that you're here to show up for the world as a nurturing, feminine, divine feminine energy. And when you're in that space, then you are going to be of most service to humanity. It's really powerful. It's like that's your life path, is to embody that moon goddess energy. So really beautiful. Let's see if there's anything else that jumps out at me here. That's pretty much things that, everything that's been jumping out. I've been wanting to, just financially can't right now, moving next month. You can make happen whatever you want to make happen. When you feel called and you feel ready, it is there for you to grab. Do not block yourself from any opportunity that you want in your life, because I can tell you this, when I wanted to sign up for my Akashic Record training, I said the same thing to the teacher. I was like, I don't know if I can make it happen right now. And she was like, do you believe that the money will show up? Do you believe that the money will come? And I 100%, it was an instant yes, because if I want this, it's going to happen and the universe will make it happen. And I can promise you that the money showed up. And it was like that letting go, right? North Node Taurus. You have to trust that abundance will always be there for you when you need it. So don't ever hold the possibilities, hold yourself back or hold any possibilities back. Don't ever make excuses for your growth and make it happen. Like, just show up for yourself, show up for your spirit, show up because you are ready for the growth. But it's very important that in life, because of that North Node in Taurus especially, that you do not block yourself from financial abundance, from things like just showering you with abundance, because that's what you're here to learn about, is how to shower yourself with abundance. And that comes first from the stories, letting go of the scripts that we tell ourselves, right? There you go. Yes, exactly. So put in your head, if I want to do this, it'll happen. And don't worry about how, just know that it'll happen. And be like, if you really feel the call, if you really feel like I want to do this, and like it's going to happen, and the money will just show up when it needs to show up, And yeah, so that's how to do it. That's how to manifest. Is like we have to get out of our own way. I can promise you the training that I'm doing was like $3,333. And when I found out, I was like, that's awesome. And that's awesome that she's like, getting all this abundance, and like, that's fucking epic. One day I want to be doing programs and charging that much. And then when you change the mentality, it's like, $3,000, that's nothing. You got to get yourself, like, move yourself out of there. And we're only talking, a lot less for the Moon Goddess training. But anyways, I'm just making a point that we do have to, many times when there's like issues with money and finances, and like, I don't know if I'm going to have enough, is there's a story behind it. And it's letting go of the script and getting out of your own way and being like, it's going to happen. Like, I don't need to worry about this. It's going to happen. And then just get excited, because you're going to be doing this amazing thing for yourself, and stepping into something that is partly your path. And, you're like, for anyone that's like wondering, like, if I should do this, like, look at your chart. Where's your North Node? Where's your midheaven? Those things give you insight into what you're really here to do. And the North Node in Taurus is a Venus ruled energy as well, which is goddess energies too. So, but either way, like, I'm really glad that you got a reading, and that you got sort of a deeper understanding of everything, that is involved in, this incarnation, because it is an incarnation. It's not the only one. It's just the one that you're focusing on right now. So it's important because it's the one that you're focusing on right now. You have to like be present with it, and you have to like let it flow and let it unfold, and not resist the facing of those shadows, because the growth only happens through going through those shadows. So let go of those limiting stories. That what's one of the things that I really want people to get into their heads. If there's anything that I teach ever with anything that I do, is that like teaching you how to let go of your limiting stories. Did you just sign up for another reading, Shannon? But thank you, Jenny, for getting a reading. I really appreciate that, and I hope that you got a lot out of it. If you just got on the list again, Shannon, then go ahead and put up your question. All right, let's go for it. Exactly what you said. Next year's training's fee. I said, dang, I got to step up my goddess energies at work. Exactly. Yeah. So that's the thing, is that next year, like, this is the last training that's going to be around this price range, which is 333. I've gotten a very clear, like, message that, like, the value for me to really value myself and show that value and receive like that exchange, the pricing of all of my stuff has to go up. And I've already raised the prices of my readings, but next year, so the next Moon Goddess training after the one in January will be 1111 will be the price. So this is the time to get in, because the price will go up by a lot for next time. I want a birth, and there's payment plans too that I offer for the Moon Goddess training. So totally doable. I want a birth chart. Yes, there's payment. There's always going to be payments. There will always be payment plans there's like sort of 3 tiers of signups. Right now is two payments, monthly payments of $140, and the price right now is $275 total. But it will go up in December 1st. It will go up to $333 total, and then that will be split into 2 payments. Oh, you want me to do a birth chart reading for him? Okay. Let's pull it up. Do it. Yeah, do it. You're not, trust me. Like, the shit is getting lit. It's getting lit. All right, let's see here. Yeah, it's super. I'm going to do some, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at Channel for Grace. I'm going to start doing some live, the price goes up January 1st. So some live interviews with some of the moon goddesses that have completed the training. So look out for those interviews. They're going to be really, really fun. Okay, so let's put this in. Location. Okay, here we go. You're hilarious, Shannon. Okay. Why don't we do this instead? Actually, this is interesting. Why don't we look at this? And thank you, Wendy, for putting that up there. So why don't let's take a look at this, because this is actually significant. So he just had a change of a moon sign in his progressed chart. So I want to go back and see, when did this change happen, because you may have felt it recently. And I don't know when you guys sort of connected, but in November, yeah, this is very recent. So his energy shifted November 17th. And let's read about it. So he was, wow, that's really interesting. So he was having a transit of a moon in Cancer in his progressed chart. And so he was actually in this sort of phase. Did you meet him before that? He was in November 17th. I can't remember. Yeah, you must have. But he was actually ending his transit through the Cancer energy, which was more of like the nurturing thing. And now he just like his energy shifted. So from the safety of the hearth, the family fire, you are given a center of security and a base from which you feel strong enough to explore your creativity. Your skills have been developed in the protective warmth of the family environment where they may not have been criticized or challenged. You now instinctively present your talents to the world, naively confident of your ability. The chief desire is to display your talents and to test them in the marketplace. It is a time of expression and action with a touch of naive overexuberance. It is the desire to be seen. So that is what he just entered. He now has a moon in Leo in his progressed chart, which is going to be conjuncting your sun, your moon, your Mercury. So that's a big deal. He is also with, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, he's also entering the first square in his progressed chart, which is the first quarter moon. September, and then things did change a bit. Yeah. So occurring 7 years after the new moon, and this is what he's kind of moving into, the energy he's moving into while he's going to be experiencing this Leo moon. For the next 2.5 years, his moon is in Leo. Occurring 7 years after the new moon, we have the waxing square, which is a time of action. The action springs from the essence of the new moon. You feel a deep need to physically materialize the desires implanted 7 years earlier. It's an ego-building time with personal achievement taking the lead role. If you are in this lunar phase, then everything will be flavored with the essence of action. So the energy of the square is about manifesting, pushing forward, obvious to the world. The seeds of the new moon are now visible to the world, and during this time, the plant is growing rapidly, achieving most of its strength and height before it is needed to support fruit. The first quarter moon is the physical manifestation of the energy of the new moon. And what was that new moon that happened for him? So that new moon that happened for him happened in the sign of Taurus in 2015, and it happened in his fourth house of the home and family. And a Taurus new moon is about a new beginning in life in terms of money, abundance, finances, being more grounded. That's his 28 and a half year cycle. He's learning to be more grounded. He's learning to find his value, especially within home and family. That was where the energy kind of activated. This is a Venus energy, a Venus ruled like energy. So that's when the cycle started in 2015. And then now it is entering the first quarter square. So that's actually a big deal in terms of his, progressed energy. When it comes to his when it comes to the nodes, the nodal shifts that are going to be happening, the North Node is going to be transiting his fourth house next year. So that means that he's going to be focusing more on home and family. Whatever that, however that kind of fits into his life. That's also too far out. I love that. Yeah, so he's going to be focusing. He needs to, it's almost like he needs to focus more on the stability at home and family, whatever that means for him, instead of focusing more on career. It's very interesting dynamic. So next year he's going to be focusing on that. How that's going to affect the relationship, I don't know. but that's what the universe is asking of him. And with the North Node, this is more towards like the end of 2022 into 2023, when the North Node starts to finish that transit. What's going to happen is that it is going to be conjunct his Chiron. So there's going to be a lot of that healing, that original wound that he was, born with, which is he needs to learn how to value himself. He needs to learn how to value family too. Like what is the value of family to him? That's a big deal. And those are the things that are coming out. And with the South Node in Pisces, I feel like with the transit of Jupiter in Pisces next year and Mars right there, a lot of things are going to be coming up for him to let go of the past and move forward towards the future. It's going to be kind of a karmic energy for him because Pisces is where his South Node is, and that Jupiter magnifies that energy. So he's going to be like doing a lot of releasing, a lot of letting go, and a lot of the past will be coming up for him because he has to clear it to move forward, towards a different energy. And yeah, do you have any other, kind of questions or things that kind of pop up for you? I feel like also with Jupiter in Cancer in the 7th house, he can be, and the Cancer intercepted in the 7th and 1st house, he can be very nurturing. He can be very nurturing in relationships, like very loving and very nurturing, like a very family kind of oriented in a way. Even with his fiery energy, that is a big part. He cares in relationships. He cares. He like genuinely cares. And it may be an internal thing. Like maybe you'll see it on the outside, but a lot of it is like within him. Like internally he cares. He may not show it because Jupiter is retrograde in his chart, but he really cares. And it's a focus for his life to be nurturing in relationships. He also, I don't really go into starseed stuff, but his moon and his rising are on the galactic center. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Yeah. So I think that's what was jumping out at me. And definitely super interesting. And go ahead, Valerie, and put up your question. What do you think? What do you think about that? Yeah, I wanted to look at the progress chart because I figured that was a big deal. Good thing we know the time of birth, right? So Valerie just signed up for a reading, so you can go ahead and put up your question, Valerie, and thank you again for getting on the list. Awesome. We are ready for you, Valerie. Super interesting. Super interesting. Ooh, you know what I was thinking? Maybe for the full moon in Gemini, we'll do a Akashic healing chamber on YouTube just to see what I'm talking about, my Akashic healing chambers. Or maybe instead of doing an Akashic healing chamber, because I don't know if I can open the records for like everyone on YouTube, that would be overwhelming. And you wouldn't be able to get permission for all of that. So I think maybe what I'll do is just like a regular kind of sound healing session for the Gemini full moon, and it'll be the first kind of healing session that I've done live in a long time. Didn't realize about the Galactic Center. Yeah. I know. I was like, wait a minute. Right. So yeah, I think we should do that. I was thinking like, how do I show everyone what I mean by the Akashic healing chamber? And it could be a sound healing, sound bath for the Gemini moon. That could be really, really fun. I'm down. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Maybe like the promotional event. By the way, you guys, if you get on the Channel for Grace Starseed membership, which the registration is now open and the content begins on the 21st of December on the winter solstice, we'll have a live event. The first 50 people that sign up for the membership are actually going to be entered to one of my free holiday readings, which is a live one-on-one 1 hour reading with me. It could be astrology or tarot or whatever. We kind of co-create the experience, but super, super exciting. And I'm only offering that reading through the end of December. So somebody's going to win one of those readings. I'll raffle it from the first 50 people. I love that meme that says, son, oh, mom, what's my birth time? Stay away from that girl. That's hilarious. That is really funny, Wendy. Oh my God, that is really funny. That was hilarious. Okay. I have Sun in Gemini and Moon in Leo. So 11/17/1960. Because you put 11/17/60 and then there's a 2 there, so I'm just wondering if that's a typo. 1960. Is that correct? Okay, and then, okay, 2:30 p.m. Okay. And you want me to just look at his birth chart? November 17th, 1960 p.m. Spastic fingers. That's hilarious. And then let me know, what did you want me to actually look at? Or maybe do you have a question, something that you want to know about it, that you're curious about, that you want me to kind of focus on? Stay away from that girl. Why? No, that's the opposite. She's actually wanting to know who you are at a deeper level. See, people think it's black magic or something like that, you know? They don't get it. Like, the whole point of understanding yourself at a deeper level is like this, you know, this person is actually, you know, wanting to understand you for reals. Most people like are just surface level, and that doesn't work in relationships. That's not going to work anymore in relationships. You can't. It's just not going to. Like if you don't understand, it's going to be karmic. Like the karma will take over, you know? Oh, okay. Any major? Oh, okay. Let's do the progress chart. Let's look at that and we'll start from there. Okay. Right? Like that's the opposite of my response. I'd be like, nice, she's into astrology? Epic, you know? Oh my God. Okay. So, oh, this is interesting, Valerie. Okay. Wow. This is a big deal. Holy shit. Okay. 25. Oh my God, you guys, I finally put up my salt lamps. I'm so excited. And the plants, again, the plants. Oh my God. And the crystals. All right. Oh boy. Okay. So in November, okay, so a year ago, well, a little more than a year ago, a year and a month ago, he went through a new moon phase in his chart. He went through a new moon phase, and it was actually in Capricorn, which is really interesting. And it was in his 10th house of career. So something about his career. Hello, Oneness 13. Welcome in. Um, that's so interesting. I'm wondering, when did the I know you shared it publicly, so I hope you don't mind me sharing, but when did the situation start setting in, if you know what I mean? When did the situation start with him? Because this new moon, right? Because the situation can affect, obviously, like regular functioning. And a new moon in Capricorn is like about career and like life path. So yeah, exactly. So when did the dementia set in? Because that is very interesting. You know, like, how does that play into this? That's what I want to know. That's like super interesting. But the new moon, okay, this is the beginning of a cycle, the commencement of an emergence of the flavor of the next 29 years. People of average life expectancy will experience 2 to 3 progressed new moons, and these progressed new moons will usually be in consecutive houses and signs. The house and sign in which a new moon occurs is important as a pointer and will indicate the background theme for that 29-year period. This is the phase where you will begin a new development in your life. There is an urge for new activities, new desires. So maybe it was the dementia that was part of like what he chose, because at this time, right, Capricorn, okay, so Capricorn energy is also like experience and the wise one and the ancestors and sort of stepping into that energy. So like maybe it was somehow, it's part of it, it's all connected. But this is the phase where you will begin a new development in your life. There is an urge for new activities, new desires. Some of these new desires may not manifest externally for a few years. However, when they eventually emerge, they can be described by the house and sign in which the moon has occurred. This is a beginning. The way of life will change from this point onward. So a new moon is a very important pointer for the because it shows the unconscious desires, the needs and expectations that will unfold under the orchestration of transits and progressions over the following 29 years. New moons are seeds that will grow into plants. And then all the other lunar phases stem from this phase, each one building on the previous one by taking that initial statement of energy. So how interesting. When did he retire? Something new began. Now, I'm a believer that like everything that happens in our lives, even especially when it comes to like illnesses or diseases or anything like that, that are so life-changing that they change the course of your life. Dolores Cannon talks about this. What does she say about, I wonder if there's, hang on a second. There's a book called Soul Speak, and I'm trying to see if I have it available here in my little library so I can kind of check it out. I just have to see. Okay, so it's been a while. I just have to see if she talks about dementia at all and the significance of this. I guess it would be a brain issue, right? Chakras, accents, process. It would be interesting for you to actually read this book. I can't like find it like just right off the bat. But, you know, if dementia is forgetting, you know, like we're supposed to be like healthy and, you know, throughout our lives. It could be that, you know, his soul chose this experience for sure to have for some reason. And then you chose to like experience it as well in your own way. It could also be that the disease itself is some kind of a resistance, right? Because like why, yeah, Soul Speak by Julia Cannon. It could be some kind of a resistance to remembering things, right? It's almost like an avoidance, right? Because when you start forgetting things, it's like you want to forget your past so much that you literally, your brain starts forgetting. So to me, it almost seems like when I look at it energetically, the forgetting who you are and everything, it's like you almost like you so didn't like you were so like there's something that you were avoiding so intensely that you want to like forget about it, or you didn't step into your purpose in this life, and so you're like, it's a coping mechanism, so I'm just gonna forget all my life altogether. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at it that way, if you look at the bigger picture of what the hell could that possibly mean energetically in life, because everything is a message for us. So it could be that like, no, his soul chose to have this specific experience, and he needed to have this, issue with him, because that was like part of him paying off karma in some way for some kind of story. Or it could be that like there's such avoidance that like I just need to forget it all. Like, I can't do this anymore, so I'm done. And you start forgetting everything. So it's even who you are. So it's quite sensitive. It's quite a sensitive topic. But there was something new that started, in last year. So some kind of whether he has dementia or not, it doesn't matter. Like, he had a new moon phase. So there's a new story that began, and it has to do with career. It has to do with the energies of Capricorn. It has to do with his life path. And we may not understand what that life path is. Yeah, we may not understand what that life path is for him, because we have this sort of idea about what career is supposed to look like. But think of everything that Capricorn represents to come up with like what could be the biggest theme of this for him. And I see, ancient, wisdom. I see the elders. I see our ancestors' energy. I see the wise energy, the crone energy. I see also, the Lyran starseeds, which are the oldest souls in the galaxy, are around this area of, Capricorn. But something happened, and it has to do with his life path. So we have to trust that like the mission that he's on, or the path that he's on is related to these sort of shifts. When I reset this, right now he's actually, yeah, right. Yeah. So right now his moon is in Aquarius, and it moved into the sign of Aquarius. And I can tell you when you probably felt a shift in February of this year. He has to let control of finances go and let me. Yeah, and that's going to be that's a thing. That's a big deal, So February 4th of 2021 was the day that his moon moved into Aquarius. And that is, interesting, Valerie. Wow, that's an interesting connection. Yes. Wow. And his moon is currently, it entered Aquarius. It is currently in Aquarius. So you have to think about the energy of that as well. And it's officially, in its waxing crescent phase. So whatever the seeds that he planted are going to begin to grow. It are starting to grow. And then the Aquarius energy is like he'll become much more aloof, right? So from the dominating and controlling desires of Capricorn come the realization of group energy. The desire here is to achieve something for or with the group. You start to socialize and find yourself being drawn into the group and identifying with it. This is a time when the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one. You feel strongly in control of your own world, and you reach out to help the group's world. So he's having, at the same time that he's having these energies, there's this dementia. And so that's what Dolores Cannon would say, is like, dementia feels like it's getting in the way of this, And so there's a deeper meaning beyond just the progressions when in for this specific situation, because there's something in the way of him being able to actually experience in this way, right? That we're listening or hearing here. However, there's also no reason to believe that this is not what he's supposed to be experiencing. So we have to trust, and at the same time, we have to learn and understand it from all different levels. I am really curious as to whether she actually talks about this, in her book, this dementia. So when is the moon he's gonna be with this moon in Aquarius for a while. Let's go back. And then it'll move into Pisces in 2023. So all of next year, his moon will continue to be in that sign of Aquarius. Let's see if there's anything else that jumps out at me. I feel like I said, this is a very specific kind of situation because we have that thing that's sort of getting in the way. That's where it's taking me. I want to find out what is the role that the dementia is playing in his life. That's what I would focus on. That's what I would try to figure out if you want to understand it from a higher perspective. Because I think that is what's going to give you the most information. But I guess the brain would be the nervous system. Ooh, let me read this. The human brain is the center of the human nervous system. The brain monitors and regulates the body's actions and reactions. It continuously receives sensory information and rapidly analyzes this data and then responds accordingly by controlling bodily actions and functions. It took me quite a while to understand what issues in the brain might mean. Dolores had not really encountered anyone with this type of issue so far, but I knew this part of the body had to be addressed. Many people have things that happen in their brain, tumors, aneurysm, bleeds, blood clots, to name a few. It came to me yesterday as I was doing a meditation, visualizing a column of bright white light coming down through my crown chakra and into my body. When the light came to my third eye chakra, it occurred to me that issues with this part of the body have to do with this chakra. This chakra has to do with your intuition and the development of your higher psychic abilities. We would need to look specifically at what the ailment is to determine the message. Blood clots would represent a blockage within the system and not allowing the flow. An aneurysm or a bleed within the brain causes great pressure. Could the message be great pressure from the development of these abilities or feeling a loss of control? Cancerous tumors represent suppressed anger. So a tumor in this area might mean there is a great deal of anger around the issue of the intuition. That doesn't really make sense to me as I write this, but that is what is coming through right now. Maybe there is a resentment of others and their abilities, or with the self in not developing or not listening, etc. The brain is the seat of the third eye chakra, which houses the pineal gland. This area is the doorway or the gateway to higher dimensional understanding or psychic abilities. I decided to do some research on the pineal gland since I have a very limited understanding of this. The basic physical information I found is that it is a gland about the size of a pea in the center of the brain and produces melatonin, a hormone that affects the modulation of wake-sleep patterns and seasonal functions. I found a very interesting article by Gray Vey on a website named viewzone.com. Here is a brief excerpt explaining why it has its reputation. Although commonly attributed to Descartes, the idea of the pineal gland was the interfacing organ where the spirit of man gained access and animated the human body, was the idea of a Greek physician named Herophilus. The 300 years before Christ, Herophilus was dissecting corpses and documenting what he observed. His specialties were the reproductive system and the brain. Prior to him, people believed the executive office of human consciousness was the heart. Egyptian mummies had their hearts carefully embalmed and preserved, while their brains were removed through their nasal passages and unceremoniously discarded. But Herophilus knew that the brain was the controlling center, and he went on to discriminate between the various parts of the brain and access the different behaviors associated within them. He noticed that the small pineal structure was singular, unlike the brain features that are mirrored in the left and right hemispheres. It is the first gland to be formed in the foetus and is distinguishable at 3 weeks. It is also highly nourished. The pineal gland has been supplied with the best blood, oxygen, and nutrient mix available in the human anatomy, second only to that of our kidneys, whose function is to filter the blood of impurities. Because of this unique and special anatomical configuration, Herophilus rightly concluded it had a major role in consciousness as the gateway to our real self. Later in the same article, by 1958, Aaron Lerner discovered melatonin, a vital molecule produced in the pineal gland from another common neurotransmitter, serotonin. He validated the fact that the production of melatonin varied, stopping during the daylight and ramping up shortly after darkness. Melatonin, it was learned, was responsible for making us relax and putting us to sleep. For a while, it was not known how this small gland, buried deep in the middle of the human brain, could sense light or darkness, but it was later discovered that there was a link to the pineal gland from the retinas, which oddly enough also contain melatonin. In no time, the pineal gland was being called the third eye, and because of this location at one of the 7 chakras, it was reputed to be the center of spiritual and psychic energy. In another article, it is stated that an awakened pineal gland brings the ability to consciously astral travel, explore other dimensions, foresee the future, and receive communications from loving dimensional beings. Thus, it would appear human beings were intended to be visionary beings and be able to tap into the information in other dimensions. This dimensional perception transcends the ego and rapidly heals our own sufferings, conflicts, and thus karmas. So, just a little, excerpt from the book where she talks about the brain, and then she talks about the spinal cord. But that's how you figure out what the hell is going on when you have a disease, is you look at what is the disease doing. So, right, with dementia, it's like making you forget. That's why I was going to, what is he trying to forget? And why? And why is it progressing? Maybe the frustration of not being able to be in control, is causing the progression, or, you know what I mean? It's it's a very interesting thing. Or maybe, in order to get to the next phase, he needs to not remember who he is. I don't know. There's a lot that can come through. He has so many. This is kind of the okay, interesting. Okay. So I recommend getting it. Soul Speak Julia Cannon. She goes through and basically talks about all of the different kinds of illnesses and diseases and what they mean. That's very Scorpio to suppress their abilities, hallucinations, hears things. Yeah. This is on Audible too. So this is what I would recommend for you. Get it on Audible and actually, having the real copy too, because you can take notes. But yeah, that's what I would recommend. So, wow. But very interesting that he just started a whole new phase in the middle of all of this, right? It's is he that far away, that far off the track? Is he purposely has he, because Dolores also said that diseases are the last call, especially deadly diseases. It's the final call, you're going the wrong way, 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 you're going the wrong way. And then finally it's okay, so if you can't, we need to reset this. So that's what diseases do. It's they stop you in your tracks. But if it's ongoing and it just goes from one to another, that's interesting that it's he's staying in that state of dis-ease. Very interesting. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you guys, for listening. So I think we're going to end it there. We've been going for about 2 hours, so that's good. Thank you everyone that got a reading this evening. Please sign up for the Channel for Grace STARSEED membership. I would love to have you be a part of it. It'll be a very beautiful way for us to connect outside of YouTube and to stay connected, if anything does go down. And also to be guided through these powerful transits that are coming up. So thank you again, everyone who got a reading tonight. I will be back on Monday night to do the weekly reading, and I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your weekend. Enjoy it. I am so glad that this eclipse energy has now officially ended, and we are now like moving on. Like, let's move forward. Let's move forward, everyone. I'll see you guys Monday. Have a beautiful weekend. Satnam.